The son becomes the father the son. This is all I can send you, Kal-El. It's not who I am underneath that defines me, but what I do. You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. Just because someone stumbles and loses their path doesn't mean they're lost forever. You're making me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Let me just check my sound because after yesterday I was a bit bummed out at being totally muted all the way through because my sound wouldn't come through. So let me just wait a minute out here and see if it's all going okay, and then I'll get back with you. Apologies, because I just want to make sure I don't screw up like I did yesterday. Oh man. So there's like a delay. And it's going all okay. So thank you for hanging out with me. Yeah, yesterday was like really bummed me out. 30 minutes in, and I didn't even know I was like my computer was messing up on me, and like there was no sound. So with this, right, I've decided to change like how I do things. I've been really thinking about comics and ramblings, right? I'm gonna like go, well, this is 10 minutes of bad, the good, and lots of amazing, right? Like good, the bad, the ugly type thing. So let's start with something really cool, right? That I've enjoyed this week, that I've caught up on. 20 episodes of Dark Gathering, right? So Dark Gathering is an amazing little, let me get that one before I actually had, let's go to something really brand new, right? Let's go to South Park. So I saw this today and I was like, yeah. Let's do that.
Hey, you ready to come play another game? Okay, new kid, we have all new rules this time. Now you can play alone or with 3 of your closest friends. Unless you don't have any friends, then you can just join matchmaking and play with randos. Now listen, Clyde has information that the elves are preparing to launch a massive attack on our kingdom. They've been spotted advancing their forces near Stark's Pond. We have to take them out before they kill us all. Good luck.
Yeah, get him, new kid.
They're attacking into a swarm. Show no mercy, new kid. You can't keep running into arrows and stay alive, dumbass.
Okay, very nice, guys.
I know you're hiding something, pal, and we're gonna find out what it is. Weapons are nice, new kid, but this game's also about using cards. You got Fart Escape, a blast from the axe. Try it out. You've been using that Fart Escape a lot, so be careful with your colors. Hey, player 2, he died again.
Well, you're just the best little healer, aren't you? You're making a mistake, Cartman.
Are you denying that you were gearing up your entire army to attack our fucking base?
Says who?
Says Clyde.
And do you always trust what Clyde says?
Hell no, Clyde's a total dumbass.
You're all acting crazy.
Got weapons here.
It's the apocalypse.
Prepare to die.
Kick that fucking elf's ass!
No! Good luck trying to ruin this game. I'm sure you'll manage.
Seriously. I didn't realize there was so much swearing in it. But of course it's South Park, right? So you expect it. You're not playing a South Park without knowing what South Park is about. So this new Snow Day game, right, that's come out, it's like, looks really cool. I have a freaking Xbox and I have a PS2. Every time I go to plug in my Xbox and I go to play it, I go, I should be doing some work, and I stop playing. I turn it on and I turn it back off. And I've been collecting like PC games. I've been collecting like Xbox games, and I've been collecting like PS2 games when I see it. Like my dad gave me a whole friggin' machine the other year when we were cleaning out the shed. But right, the reason I buy that, and what I was trying to say yesterday, was because Christopher Nolan, right? And this is the good, right? So the Christopher Nolan came out in the week on the release of, let me guess, grab this. Where are you, Nolan? There we go, Friday, right? So Christopher Nolan came out this week, and he started talking about how, there's a danger to only watch streaming, because they could turn off that switch, and it'll just this whatever you're interested in is going to be gone forever. It'll be vaulted, and you won't be able to see it, and or they could like change things in it, and you wouldn't even know. Like 30 years from now, nobody's going to know who was that actor or what line they said, unless you actually have a physical copy of your favorite film. And that's what he talks about here, right? Like, buy your favorite films physically. And he was talking about this in the release of 40K, right? 40K Oppenheimer, this sort of the 40K thing comes out like this, right? And then you got the Blu-ray, and then you got the normal DVD and stuff, right? So basically, if you like something, have enough, buy a physical copy. It's like what we do with comic books, right? You can read digital comics all the time. It's easily accessible. Jump on your tablet, pad, whatever, iPad, your freaking laptop that is a huge screen you can take off and walk around with, or on your mobile, which I do every now and then when I'm like just sitting around waiting for a bus or waiting for a meeting or something. I'm sitting there reading a comic. However, it's so much more cool to actually own the actual physical stuff, because then you can go, hey, it's here. There's nothing can change what's here, right? Norman Red, Silver Surfer, the dude is right here, right? And so I don't have to worry about somebody going, oh, yeah, it's a female now. No, it's not friggin' Taskmaster, right? Even though you want to tell me that the person behind Taskmaster, the dude, is now a chick, like Black Widow, right? It's free to watch now, and I don't even bother to watch it, right? Even though I love Black Widow, it's you guys would have seen some of the posts I've made. Where are we? It's a whole lot of stuff here. Right, Black Widow, right? Freaking, I'm going to be I'm supposed to be opening it this weekend on our toys collecting and unboxing, right? So I rather have to buy this than buy something like a Black Widow movie, because like 10 years too late, right? Not only that, but then they went, and of course they switched. They've already done switched out Taskmaster, who's like a really cool villain, right, for Deadpool, because like he can copy freaking everything, But then the big reveal, it's a female, right? And that's what we get now. We get like the bed, which is like Silver Surfer is going to be rumored to be, and it's probably is, right? They put out the rumor to check how the media is going to fans are going to react, and at the end of the day, they'll just use that to market it more. Like, look, those guys hate this, so we must, you must back it if you like it. But at the end of the day, like I was just doing it like a guy who's like a short story writer, sci-fi, who's very into Marvel, who's very into DC, into Star Wars and pop culture, right? Just randomly today, while I was doing some op shopping, and he just said, it's tiring. The random dude on the out there saying it's just tiring when they're doing this, because there's going to be a point where nobody's going to care what they do with their stuff, and I'm at that point now. I'm very close to like, I just can't be bothered, because I've got enough cool things happening with what I'm creating, and with our comic books and stuff that's coming up, and which is what we're going to concentrate on doing, right? Like talking about the amazing comic books that we're putting out ourselves, the characters that we are developing, where we're going to show you the really cool stuff. I mean, like you look at this Guillermo del Toro is saying the same thing. Look, buy physical media. Buy physical media. That's a good thing because that way it's there. It's always there. 50 years from now, it'll be still there. Like, stuff like Leon, right? Amazing, amazing stuff, right? Now they're putting on, I don't know when they put this out on Blu-ray, but it's in Blu-ray. I own it. Nobody can tell me anything else that isn't in this. They can't change it without me going, hold on. But the other thing is there is like a third commercial thing to that, right? So say somebody decides, well, you know what, I've enjoyed this enough. Now I'm going to sell it. I'm going to go buy the next thing, and then that ends up, secondhand, and we end up buying it and enjoying that. Now, the really cool stuff, I want to talk about some stuff I grabbed today, right? Like stuff like this. I love stuff like this because they usually end up with the kids have taken this out. This is bought at an auction of $2, right? It's like $1.40 in US or something like that, or maybe about dollar US. But these are cool because you get to have these really cool hardcover books, which retail, right? It's somewhere around like friggin' I don't know, about $25-$30 because it comes with a toy, so it's about another $5 on a toy. But kids grab their toy and they have that, but they the parents it's take up space, so you end up with these really cool little books. But of course I've got a ton of Oshis, right? DC and all that. I'm glow in the dark, and so I'm able to now put that in there, and I'm about to have it on my shelf. But I like pop culture. It's what I enjoy, and so it does sadden me to see things the studios make the changes. But what are we going to do? I mean, all we can do is create amazing stuff ourselves, right? So whenever they make Taskmaster into a chick, we just go, well, it doesn't matter because we know that the indie creators are sticking to their guns, and they're creating something that everybody can enjoy and love. So when we get like people like Christopher Nolan and Guillermo del Toro saying, hey, do buy physical media, and I go, okay, I'm already doing it because I understand. I don't want them to be censoring stuff. I remember there was some movie that I remember like Steven Spielberg freaking took out the guns and replaced it with walkie-talkie, like about 15 odd years ago, and now he regrets it. Like, you created art, nobody complained, but then you wanted to mass market to everybody, you took it out, and now everybody's going, why? So that's kind of that gives us, for us on the indie scene, a chance to like create stuff that we can entertain you with, that at the end of the day we can hopefully have you guys support that. So we've got a show coming up from next week onwards, which is 29th in New Zealand, so it's the 28th Northern Hemisphere, where we're going to talk about just what we create for 30 minutes a week. We're just going to that day we're just going to talk about what we're bringing, right? The latest thing that we're bringing now, I've decided to change Robot Nation from going to fund my comic as a digital, because I was going to release it now as a digital over Christmas, so my artists can get some money in their pockets for Christmas, right? But we talked today and said, like, it's okay. Let's do it. Let's release it as a proper physical media, physical comic book. So you get a print comic book, and you get to have a physical book straight away. I mean, right now, as I mentioned over the past couple of weeks, the black and white artwork's complete. It looks amazing. The guys, Francisco worked really hard on it. Hugo from Incredible fame, from the he did the coloring on the Incredible comic books. He's done the cover art coloring. Now we're actually talking to Francisco, with Hugo here about maybe doing minimalist not Italian, European style color on these pages, and it's up to him to decide, well, yeah, this could really work or it can't work, and we'll just leave it black and white. And so it's going to look amazing colored, or it looks amazing black and white anyway. So there's some amazing stuff in here. There was too much of a wait on trying to get it approved on another platform. And then I thought, well, we had a meeting this morning, and with Hugo, Kevin, and Hawk, right, the publisher from Rising Comics, who helped, who's helped us put together this team. And I just said, look, the work is out here, the work is ready to go, but let's just give it all, right? Just like we did with Incredigo, let's give it all. I would love to see what this looks like in color, because it's pretty cool. Like I just got to notate what what these characters look like and stuff, and who they are ethnically, whatever, right? But it's it's a really interesting story. We had Robot Nation, which is going to be the first story, but now we've switched it so that the Robot Nation is the second story, which is a title story, but which is 12 pages, complete story, right? And then it's also The Trouble with Bobo, which is a second story, and due to my friend Michael Batur, who's a writer, right, award-winning horror writer, he just suggested, why don't you switch the stories around so you get you get The Trouble with Bobo first, so people get to read The Trouble with Bobo first, and see this really this family in space first before they see the young couple, right? So this is the this is The Trouble with Bobo, right? And 22/12/80, right? And so the space, Venus, the Milky Way, you got amazing, like, I just love, like, I can't tell you how much I adore Francisco's artwork on this project. 2 complete stories, 2 different styles, right? You got space and you got Earth, right? And it's just, like, you look at all the depth, all the stuff that effort he went into putting all this in here, Planet Venus, Colony Alpha, and there's so much cool things here. You got a young, you got a young family, young kid, mom, dad, and it's just, it's you've got that story, and then you've also got Robot Nation, young couple, right? And so you've got 2 different groups of people in this fantasy near future, distant future setting. So, and then the next one up, we've got this one here, right? That we're looking, and we've put it on hold because we didn't complete it, and because we're trying to get Incredigo done, then we try to get Robot Nation done. Now this is the next one we're going to look at getting out, Alienated Alliance. Now Alienated Alliance is a mature superhero comic, right? So the content is mature, it's full on, there's this character here, the Madness. This is like, I did this like probably about 2021, right? Or 22, something like 2021, I think. I did this little poster thing here, talking about, what we were going to do with it. And we had Desi Butler as an illustrator. We did a bunch of pages, and then sort of like, decided that he didn't have the time to finish it. So we've got, we ended up bringing in our other artist who's done the covers for Incredigo #1, and he's also done the covers for The Tortoise, which is after this. As soon as this is done, we're going to put out The Tortoise, right? We're getting into a place where, like, let's get on a regular way of getting our comics out, because it's just trying to wait for 6 months after a comic until that gets out. It's really hard on us as creators trying to earn something from what we're doing. As artists, it's really tough. So we just thought, what? Let's get on a regular, timely fashion, that maybe every 3 months we get a comic book out, so that, like, we're able to do it regularly. So this is, this is the Madness versus Hypersonic, right? This is a comic book this is me trialing out what the color tones will be, like skin tones and stuff like that, the color on the costume, the hair color, and what it's real, this is actually James Hill, right? I forgot to mention, this is James Hill working on these characters here, and I'm here trying to, like, do the circles on it, because the circles of course change. And it's, when you're doing like all the circles for a character that has friggin' circles in every single area of the friggin' body, it's tough, right? So I'm in there like, just like making circles all over the friggin' costume after James has gone in and done the pencils. Then of course once I finish, the inks will be done. Then after that, then we'll send it over to Hugo, and he'll do the coloring on it, according to the colors I've got here. Red, white, and blue, of course, again, but it's a different style, right? It's a really different. It's a male hero this time, or a female, villain, or whatever. It's just trying something that's a good story. That the story is the most important thing for me. Now, this originally was going to be called the Hero, right? But then when I expanded on the story into a comic book, because when I initially wrote this as the Hero, it was going to be like a friggin' a reality show, a web, live action reality show. So these people come back, from, the heroes come back from their fighting, then they sit around, have a pizza, and they talk about the wars they just had. They come back to evil, bruised up, and they talk about, and so on. But because now 15 years old later, I'm doing comics, I'm able to turn that into a comic book, create, amazing aliens, actual, go from like just being a like talky thing around, around a TV, in a lounge, to actual, ships, to actual sci-fi creatures, aliens, heroes. Sorry, this is taking a bit slow on the catch up on that, but like creating heroes, creating humans, all this, as an art. So, the story behind this, there is there's ships coming into Earth, they're aliens, and a meteor storm in space hits it and pushes them out of, crashes them on Earth. All right. So these alien creatures now, are dead basically, or they're alive. So they're, alive or dead, or they crash landed and stuff happens. So, so some people find it, and it's like a first contact thing, and the idea is what happens when you come in contact with these, alien beings, so there's different aspects to it, and so there's the artwork here, right? Like if you can see these aliens, right? This is based around my I'll actually show you the page actually. So if we'll come up here, let's go back up here. This is the one we're supposed to, at the moment it's a bit delayed because inflation is like really hurting our creatives, right? So this is James Hill. This is a Templeton Rise and Fall story we're supposed to put out, which is a supernatural, heaven and hell, angels and demons, really cool, really awesome, series that we're gonna be putting out, 6 series. This is the character designs that we worked on initially. This is me designing the character here of Madness, and I talk about how it was supposed to be the hero, and we moved on to, actually, changing it. So here you can see our initial, my initial look at what, I based the alien creatures on the Tuatara, which is a New Zealand dragon, right? Like a lizard, like an ancient lizard, like they live for hundreds of years. So, and you can see it here. So this is the, let me see if I can make this a bit bigger so you guys can see that. And I'll check the chat in a minute if you guys are with me there. Is it going to go up? Here we go. So this is my initial design. So you can see this is a Tuatara, right? This is our, I want it to be really New Zealand, right? I want it to be very uniquely New Zealand in the way that the creatures were out here, these aliens that they, and then we had, we kind of like flashed it out between myself and, Desi, who did the original. So these are like the Venetians, right? So these are like the creatures from Venus and so on. And I've designed it, how I wanted the teeth to look, and so on. And when they open their mouth and stuff. So this is kind of like trying to introduce, people who don't know these creatures that we have in New Zealand. They actually see these creatures. And not only this one, right? So there was also early on, where are we? I want to introduce like what it's like in the New Zealand cave, right? What you can find in a New Zealand cave. And like I said, very uniquely New Zealand, you got a pig hunter, right? Out with his dog hunting pigs, right? Wild pigs, boars, whatever. And so, what, and you goes into a cave, and what does it, what does he see in the cave? So come on, buddy. I'm waiting for this page to like load. It's getting a bit slow on here. Apologies for that. So, or, we're going to basically look at Kevin like finishing off a final page and maybe touch up some stuff. But, this is going to be, it's not even coming up now. Hold on. It's a bit too small, I think. Guess that doesn't like it when it's too big and too many windows open. But yeah, there's another creature that we have in New Zealand. It's called the weta. It's like this freaking grasshopper. It's like freaking getting really big, right? If you see it, like suddenly you freak out because it's like a, creepy looking brown little freaking cockroachy grasshopper looking, colored like a cockroach, like a freaking dark brown, glistening thing, shiny little shit. And then then it's a grasshopper, and they do not look good, man. Like seriously. So James went through and did some great work. Not James, Desi went through and did some amazing work on this. So I'm gonna pop out of here, and because I'm not sure why that's taking so long to pop us in, but so let's get on to something more positive again, because like I said, I don't want to get all negative because there's enough. I can all day talk about the negative side of pop culture because of what's happening, but I do enjoy, fun. I enjoy, listening to music. I enjoy listening to heavy metal. I love watching anime. I love when I get time. And, I like to watch, read a bit of manga and, comics when I get, when it's available. So, all these things take time. And as someone who enjoys, these things, I want to introduce you to the good things that I enjoy, such as this really cool anime that's like, and by the way, these comics, our podcasts are not for kids, right? So it's when we go in, we always say in in the setup for YouTube, it's not for kids, so we can play more mature content on here and trailers and stuff. So this is, I want to basically, Dark Gathering is based on a manga by, let me just grab this here. I've forgotten who it's by. Hiroshi Ikuhata is the Hiroshi Ikuhata is the director of it. Let me see who's the. Let's pop it up and find out who's the actual, writer creator of the manga it's based on. So Dark Gathering. We'll get to the trailer soon. Is that Kenichi? Yeah, Kenichi Kondo, right? So he's the creator of this show. So let's have a watch, right?
僕は霊媒体質だ。中学の時に霊障を受けたことがある。
また同じ学校に通えるよ。改めてこれからよろしくね。いとこのほおずき弥生ちゃん。
今日から弥生ちゃんを担当することになった玄東が慶太郎です。
慶太郎先生。
This is not for the faint-hearted. This anime or manga.
僕家庭教師できたんだよ。
Right.
これが僕と彼女の出会いだった。
大丈夫。ここから先は私の役目。 成仏もせずに人を襲う執念もたた
Full on
えて
horror. One of the most
冷めることのない無
recent
限の
top
夢を
horror animes
見
around.
せてあげる。
歩み寄るほどに目指しているまともから遠ざかる気がする。僕はこれからやっていけるのか。
ゲットだぜ。
It's a really creepy thing. Right? So you've got three three of the main characters. Let me just see here. Here we go. So you got Kenichi, who's a dude, right? Who's got years ago, like Aiko here, Aiko, and the red hair, orange red hair, is his girlfriend. So when a few years back, the story is that like they were attacked by some spiritual being, and like whatever happened, he is able to see them now, right? And so because he caused harm to Aiko because of that spiritual thing, a ghost, whatever situation, the supernatural situation, he cut himself off, right? He locked himself away from people. And so now he's, there is, gosh, I can't remember. I have trouble with remembering things, man. I wish, I didn't have the problem, but too many head injuries, right? 6 or 7. It's like really messes thing. So Io, right? Which is the cute little girl, right? So that you see in here, right? So the cute little girl, Io, let me just pop over to the IMDb. You'll be able to see the characters I'm trying to talk about here. So this is Io, or Yayo, Yayoi, right? She has a friggin' she's like the creepy child who's got supernatural powers. And so this story is freaking, horror manga turned up to about 50 or like over 150, right? It's just a full on in your face. You're like, creepy because it's got horror, ghosts. They're not pulling any punches. The writer's amazing, right? Kenichi Kondo, right? And so why she's this way is because her mum, right? They tell you right at the start, first episode, right? That the mum, her mother basically was in an accident, and this powerful supernatural being stole the mother's ghost of soul before she could go up to heaven, right? And because of the car accident. And now she wants to free her mum from that supernatural being. And so she gets help from Kenichi, who's the dude, right? Who's able to see them, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with these freaking ghosts and crap, right? He is terrified. He's like, because he's seen what they can do, and he just doesn't want to mess with it. But Aiko is the older cousin of friggin' Yayoi, right? So the mum is her auntie, and so once the mum dies, Yayo comes and stays. I can't say her name right. Sorry for the little kid, right? Little kid comes and stays with Aiko, and then it's just a terrific little horror anime, man. Like you will not regret seeing it because it's that good. And I'm like, I'm really caught up, right? Because it's one of my favorites. I'm watching it like subtitled because I can't be bothered waiting for like dub or whatever. And because it's that good, it reminds me of another anime that isn't as horrific, right? That isn't as creepy, which is I think it was like Shadow. I think it was called Shadow. I don't know, dude. I'm not sure. Hey, sorry, bud. I mean, I will make sure that something's, maybe there was some, like, when I was trying to fix crap, maybe yesterday I pushed the wrong button. Apologies if it's my fault there, man. I really apologize for that. I don't, yeah. It's like there was so much trying to fix yesterday's mutation, mutant, whatever, mutantness, that I just, I apologize, Ross. Now, yeah, so let me find this. I can't remember if it's called Eminence or something. And it was something that was talking about with Nicole Kane the other day, on our Friday night show, Kiwis and comic books, that we invite people, Kiwis to and Aussies to do like a panel thing. So I think it's Shadow. It's got to do something with like I always forget the friggin' name of it. It's like, I hate it because I like it so much, but I always forget the name of it. It's about a courtesan, right? It's like the emperor's wives, right? Concubines and stuff and so on. But she's like a supernatural person, and she can like deals with supernatural elements and stuff. So what I want to do is I'm going to pop over because I just remembered where I've got the link for it straight away. It's in my friggin' Facebook page where I sent it off, a messenger, where I told Nicole, this is the one I was telling you about, right? So let me just grab that and make it life easy on myself and on you guys waiting around. So where are you? I go, here it is, Nicole. This is what I was trying to tell you about the other day. And yeah, there we go. Brain is working. Right? So this is like the reason I probably almost always forget also is because there's a friggin', on IMDb, no matter what you write in, right, it'll come up with this, like the Raven Consort, right? The Raven Consort. So let's go and watch that because I love supernatural, stuff, angels, demon, ghosts, because I'm a horror, I love horror comics, I'm writing horror comics and, try to novelize one of my horror comics as well. So this is, Raven of the Inner Palace, right? If I remember right, I actually did put the trailer up because that's how much I thought this was really cool. This is how cool it was. And let me just grab that trailer for us. Where are you, buddy? There we go. Raven of the Inner Palace, right? So here we go. So, like I said, if you guys enjoy supernatural stuff, and horror, ghost stories, and cheers, Ross. Hopefully, hopefully it's, if it's not on my end, I'll look into it. But I mean, if it is on my end, I'll look into it. So, Raven of the Inner Palace, right, is another cool little supernatural anime, right? Or even, because this one is not based in Japan. It's a Japanese anime, right? But it isn't based in Japan. It's actually based in China, right? At the time of the emperor. And it's like, it shows you the inner workings of the emperor's, courtesans, the concubines, the slaves, talks about the servants, there's a really cool, talking about slaves, there's a really cool brand new anime that's just come out. It's about where there's something to do with like with medicine, right? I'll find that for you in a soon. But like, let's watch this because this is pretty cool. As a English sub, hopefully that's English sub.
そなたがウヒか。
帝が何用だ。
無礼な。頼まれれば何でも受けよう。それがそなたの役目だと聞いている。
代償を払えぬ頼み事は受けはせぬ。
No.
ウヒは不老不死の女仙か勇気かと言われているが、そなたは人だ。そうだろう。まだ名を聞いていなかった。なんという。
10節
it's like a very
呪
cute,
術か。良い名だ。
relationship between the emperor and this concubine, right? Like the mistress consort.
平成さんの命で
It's a totally opposite of the friggin' other one.
ございます。
But I love them both,
作っ
right?
てくれよ。
呪説は何を調べているの？
お主は何故あの勇気に心を砕くのだ。
不憫であろ
人の死も高級では娯楽なのだな。
う。ウヒとは何者なのですか。ウヒの不思議な術に傾倒していた皇帝たちは、その力を独占するため皇宮に囲み、特別に妃に位を与えた。それがウヒだ。
一人で生きよ。ウヒは何も望んではならぬ。
So it's a very kind of like a romantic stuff with supernatural elements, but it also has some mythology involved and gives you a good idea, like I said, of like the inner workings of the the emperor's court in Chinese. I'm not even going to say what year that is because I'll get it wrong. But the way it starts is okay. Sorry, that was the wrong one. So here it is, right? So the Raven consort is a special consort living deep in the palace. Shows man, I'm gonna get Shoji has the ability to use mysterious arts and will accept any favor asked of her, whether it is to find something lost or to curse someone to death, right? So she's like this person, like that anybody that was like her with white hair, they were basically killed, like hunted, and like they're these special like sort of like beings, right? That they're able to basically see supernatural things, and so anybody normal person would be fearful of them because of the power. So they basically hunted down just almost everybody that had these unique gifts and stuff, and anybody like who was like had the white hair, you were marked for death. Like they would kill you in the street. So that so you get to see how kind of like communism works right now, right? Where like you can't speak up, you have no rights, because those in charge, can get rid of you, right? Which is happening normally right now. So, but like I said, like it's totally different to the Dark Gathering, where you got a young girl, 12-year-old girl with supernatural powers, and then you got an 18-year-old, like 20-year-old, right? Because the older ones are like they look young, but they're actually 20. They're out of college, they're out of they're in the workforce. So now you got someone who's actually there for as a consort to the emperor, and is able to kind of like help people who are having things. So like if somebody's cursed, she'll go to find out and stuff. So it's totally different element, but they're both horror and they're both supernatural. But one has this really like romantic element to it, whereas the other one has a freaking blood curdling horror element to it. Yeah, they're both supernatural, right? So it's quite a fun. It's enjoyable. Like I really enjoyed both of them, and that's the thing about me, right? So I mean, you might say like you're into this, you always talk about horror and stuff, but I do enjoy. It's the softer side of things as well. I do like to just sit down and watch, and not like everybody. Like everybody has different likes and dislikes, right? So even at 50, I can enjoy a nice little, romantic anime about supernatural stuff that's got to do with the Emperor of China, right, and his consort. Or I can just turn around and watch, a horror, blood curdling, friggin' creepy out as friggin' anime about a young 12-year-old who's hunting down friggin' ghosts because she's friggin' she's learned how to be a powerful witch, almost like a witch spiritualist, right? But they're really good, they're really cool. Like both of them, the Raven consort and Dark Gathering, they're really good animes if you like horror, which I do. So if you're into horror, if you like those elements, they're really good watching. But you also get to learn about like China, right? What was it like in those old days in China? Everybody goes, oh, the dude had 100 wives or so much, or 50 wives. What were they doing? What was it like life for them in that little, camp as such, So, but it's got some amazing artwork, that's what I kind of like. I like seeing things that are like more what I don't create, in the sense that I like manga because I don't know what Asia is like, and I enjoy seeing all the different things, like watching Shinjuku, watching the countryside of Tokyo, and so much so that like we've just done a manga that's we're going to be releasing next year. The first part of it's like a 3-part issue, but it's called The Tortoise, so it's like a 30-40 page first issue, and we just got to finish off the horror, 3 pages of horror that's going to be in that we haven't put in yet, and that's why we haven't released a book. And so I try to get inspiration and enjoyment wherever I can. So I just tend to watch more anime and cartoons, like Family Guy and stuff, because it takes me away from what I'm writing, because I don't want to create the same things that I'm writing that everybody's already watching. I want to do something different, something interesting, right? And that's just part and parcel of being a creator. You want to do something original. You don't want to rehearse the same stories because it's boring. It's like the 15th time you have a crossover in a year. Yeah, another world war, universe war and stuff. So since we're talking about Japan, right? So I'm not sure if you guys know, but I'm a trained chef, right? A second bar chef, right? Because there's about 3 bars, and you go into like 4 and 5 because you become like a Michelin chef, right? And you're like the top of the top. But I love trying out different recipes and cooking stuff, right? So I've got like an international lot of recipe books out there, because I'm actually trained in French cuisine. When I was like about 21, 8, like I think it was about 16, did my first year, and then I did my second year after working for 3 years, in 93, I think 93, I went and did my second bar. But yeah, so I got trained as a chef, as a French cuisine chef. So I like to get books. I like to watch people cook. Like one of the things, like I whenever we go to my, because there's my sister has Netflix, right? And so when we go there, rather than watching a movie or something, unless it's specifically we go to watch a movie, I just turn on the friggin' Netflix and we'll just watch recipe shows, right? Watching chefs cook amazing international dishes. Now, apart from that, right, I'm going to talk about DVDs, right? We were talking about physical media earlier. I just picked this up for $2 today, right? I didn't have it. I realized I didn't have it in my collection. It was there, and I grabbed that. Right now, I have the physical thing. I could give or take this, because I don't even know. I'll probably put a 5 or a 6 on a rating. It's not the best one. I think the Dark Suicide Squad is way better. Even don't know why they call it Dark Suicide Squad when there's a friggin' movie called Suicide Squad, right? However, I also picked this up today. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen this. This is a top class, French movie, Leon, right? And I think they did like a English version of it called Little Nikita quite a few years back. So I didn't even realize this is a special edition one. So this is, if you know Luc Besson, right? Like I think he did Fifth Element, if I remember right. So let's watch. We're still on the good. So let's watch where are we? Let's watch, Leon Besson, I think it is called. Oh, The Professional. That's right. Let's have a look at the trailer. If you guys haven't seen it, if this is the first time you're watching it, this goes back a while, and such a good movie, right? Amazing little movie. Oops, let me get over here, and we'll pop this up, because Yeah, I'm gonna put that up in a second. I missed that, but you're right. So, you know, but the word, yeah, Ross. But the funny thing here is, right, there's a there's an anime called Food Wars, right, and that's probably one of the best things as a chef to see. There's also Tokyo. I think there's another anime called Tokyo. Um, excuse me there. Tokyo or something like that. Also, is it that one? Food anime. I should put it up there, like food anime. All right, let's Google search that. But let's watch. You know, while I search that, we can watch the Leon, right?
Let's talk business. This guy comes to town every Tuesday. Are you free Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm free Tuesday.
You can't stop what you can't see.
This guy came from the outside. He was a pro. He was fast.
In the art of the kill, Leon was the master.
Somebody's coming up. Somebody's serious.
He never missed a hit. He never got caught.
You're indestructible. Bullets slide off you. You play with them.
And above all else, he never had a reason to care. Until now.
I like these calm little moments before the storm.
My family was shot down by DEA officers.
3 kids here. One of them is missing. Find her.
Please open the door. Please.
From the director of La Femme
That's
Nikita.
what it's called, La Femme
Come out, we
Nikita.
all die tonight. I can feel it.
An innocent girl with no one else to turn to.
What exactly do you do for a living?
Cleaner.
You mean you're a hitman? Cool.
A perfect assassin.
I need you to help me, Leon. I want to get those dirtbags who killed my brother.
With someone to finally believe in.
Change ain't good. Remember that, Leon.
I will.
They're about to come face to face with the cop who's crossed the line.
Bring me everyone.
Gary
I
Oldman.
mean everyone.
Yeah. It's such a worthwhile movie to watch, man. Like, it's, you know, this is the classic times of cinema when cinema like was really so good. You know, you could really go to the movies and be blown away and enjoy a good story. You know, and so one of the other ones that I thought I picked up this last week actually is, you know, Queen of the Damned. Queen of the Damned is really, really cool movie just for the soundtrack alone. Oh man, there's a song that I, like in it that I listened to over and over until I stopped. You know, I just got tired of listening to it. So let's bring up, let's have a look at the trailer of Queen of the Damned. You know, the good stuff. Queen of the Damned. And of course, this is, you know, this is from, is it Anne Rice series, if I remember right? Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, Anne Rice. I forgot. Yeah.
From an endless night, he will rise to seduce the world.
I am the vampire Lestat.
If I remember right,
Hidden in the shadows for
this was the
centuries,
last movie that Leah, the singer,
trying to share myself with the world.
acted in. Could be wrong.
Let me show you what it means to live in the light.
In his lust for mortal power, he will awaken an immortal evil.
She's Prakasha, the queen of the damned.
That will turn the undead.
She chose me.
Against each other.
She has no respect for anything except for the taste of blood, human and immortal alike.
In a war to possess our souls.
What have you done, Lestat?
From Anne Rice, best-selling author of Interview with a Vampire. Directed by Michael Reimer. Queen of the Damned.
Come out, wherever you are.
Classic, right? So I'm gonna share one of my favorite songs off that soundtrack because it's like it's, you know, this is, I think this is the one. It's been a while since I listened to the soundtrack, and I think I've got the soundtrack somewhere. But if I remember, Forsaken is the one. Yeah, it's such a good song, just like that. It's got that 2000s drum and bass to it, sounds to it. But that freaking, that you know. So you got the driving bass, even though it's a metal song, it's got this friggin', you know, drum and bass, and like almost like you can dance to it. And but it's got this creepy friggin' choirish sound to it. And it's talking about friggin' dying and vampires and all that. And like the lyrics are amazing. The bridge. Or the chorus. Kind of, yeah. Just rolling drums, man. Like, perfect. You don't really expect that, the beat there, to come on a metal song, right? Is that cello or is that friggin' violin? No, that haunting sound. But that's all I'm going to play with it. But you know, that's there it is. So it's track 2, right? And it's Eric. Was it David Draven? Yeah, Derek Draven, right? You know, if you know, this is a good vampire movie, right? It's hard now to find a good vampire movie. So, you know, when you find a decent vampire movie, and like I said, it's one of my favorites, right? I had to get it. Now, Stuart Townsend, I don't know what he's up to, but this was like Aaliyah's, right? Aaliyah's last cinematic appearance, because you know, if I remember right, she passed away in an airplane accident, which is kind of sad, you know, because she was going to be so huge as a musician. You know, Aaliyah was just like, as an actress, man, she was brilliant, especially in Queen of the Damned, right? And then, you know, whatever else they could just keep making, you know, give us whatever else next. But you know, so we lost a great artist, singer, and an actress, you know, in due to that accident. Now, what else did I have something planned here? Oh yeah, I was gonna introduce some of our non Aussie and Kiwi viewers, right, to something interesting. Where are you, my little book? Come here. Here we go. Right. So I picked up this today, right, because I thought it'd be fun to share some great Kiwi slang, right? So I'm gonna just flip a page and we'll go. All right. So let's go with, because that's the other reason I got it, because they had, illustrations. So I thought it'd be cool. If it was just gonna be words, it'd be dumb, But so quack, a doctor, right? I'm not sure if anybody else says that elsewhere in the world, but that's what we say, right? Cheers, Ross. Thank you for checking us out. Thanks for your support, man. I really appreciate it. Okay, so a quack, and then like under Q, right? So quack is a doctor, and quarter acre, the one standard size of a house block, right? That's like quarter acre block, and you'd pay whatever you were, and that's your home on that block. And now it's just kind of probably getting smaller and smaller. Subdivide and all that will be like 1/8 of an acre. But that's a slang. So, but I am also going to share with you a joke. Favorite New Zealand jokes about Australians. All right, give you a bit of Kiwi culture. All right, the Aussies have invented a new type of parachute, guys. There's something really special about this parachute. It opens on impact. All right. So, it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek joke about the Aussies. Our cousins across the ditch. I actually have two younger brothers across the ditch over in Aussie, and it's kind of hard because having a brother in Aussie and wanting to make fun of Aussies, and you really can't because he is a Kiwi. So I kind of like pull Aussie jokes on him because he's a Kiwi, right? And then I have another brother who's older than the one I mentioned. He's actually a Fiji citizen, right? So he was raised in Fiji and stuff. But I think he came over here and then he decided to move over to Aussie. And so and you can't it's kind of weird having a brother who's raised in New Zealand and he lives in Aussie, and then you have a brother who's raised in Fiji, lives over in Aussie, and here I was born in Fiji, but I'm the only one out of all of us that lives in New Zealand, right? As the only one out of three brothers, right? So one thing really cool I had to pick up today is this, man. Like I saw this book today. It's like $2 or $3, and it's a friggin' Moby Dick, pop-up book. If you you've all read the story of Moby Dick, right? The whale hunting the white whale and so on. But I opened it up and I went, what is all this? Check this out. It's got comics, man. And I was like, yep, I got to put this up. I want to have this on my shelf because it's got comics, little comic strips and stuff. Like, look at that. Seriously. I mean, this is a crazy little friggin' book, for kids, of course. But I mean, like, it's got comics. So it's, so introducing kids to comics, you've got a 3D, pop-up friggin', ships and stuff, but like people, like check this out in the background. You got people in a, what is that, singing a choir or something at church, and it's still, and oh yeah, it is, yeah, it is. Look, if you know history about Christianity and stuff, this was their symbol, right? They were like in Roman times to hide who they were, yet be able to know who someone is of their own faith. They would go on, they'll just squat on the ground and in the middle of town, whatever, because everything's dirty or soil and all that dust, and one person would do this symbol like this. They'll just go, let me just see. So one person would go like this, right, or here like that, and then the other would go like this, so they know they were Christians, right? And now Christians aren't the only ones that be persecuted for their religion. Now I'm watching a lot of China news right now. What's going on over there? I want to show you something which is kind of what I consider to be the bad. which is destruction of a 1,000-year-old temple, Buddhist temple. That'll be coming up soon, right? So, but this is so cool, right? Look. Yeah, it's like now the other thing here is like I just look at the like serious. I look at this and I go, man, look at how much effort it took. Like people on, you know, waving at each other off the boat, and and now it's gone and broken, but it's fine. It didn't get too badly damaged, but you know, so that's another thing about having like weird hands that shake. All right, here we go. So look at this. Oh man, and it's got strings on it. Isn't that crazy? Like there's so much amazing things in this book, and you get to, you know, you get to what's this part? Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna have to look at what that is, but it looks like a hand around. Oh, right, that's it, like the sinking, right? So he's trying to grab the hand, hold on to the log, right? So that's what he's got here. You can see, and I just think of like the effort this guy went through for you know Captain Ahab going after hunting his thing, but then you've got all these cool little you know artworks redone and made into a pop-up book. So it cost me $3. Sam Aita, right, is the artist on this and the writer, and and this is Robert Sabuda, right? I don't know who that is. This is for 6 years and up, and this is from Cameron House. He goes, unlike any other version of Moby Dick ever created, the idea of combining graphic novel, right, with pop-ups is brilliant. And yeah, that's why I bought this, because the idea of combining a graphic novel, right, with pop-ups, right, it's so original, man. Like this is so original, right? It's just so friggin' brilliant, you know. And it's like just taking comics to another level, right? Introducing kids to not only pop-ups but actual the story, but then also to comics as well, right? So yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's got to be on my shelf, right? It's a pretty cool thing to have. Now, as you guys know, when Barbie became very popular, right, with the movie, right? I'd already been collecting Barbies because I wanted to turn my Incredible toy, you know, in my Incredible figure, right, character into a costumed doll, right? We worked really hard. We looked into the budgeting of it. It's going to cost something like a friggin' 5K, right? Or 15K to get something like this done up. And so I started buying a whole bunch of like Barbie dolls, and also not Barbie, but Cindy, like Mattel and Hasbro. I don't know. I think Mattel does. No, wait, hold on. Hasbro does Barbie. Mattel does something else. Or is it the other way around? I can't tell. But all I know is that whoever does G.I. Joe also does Barbie, right? But anyway, so these things became like $20 secondhand, and I already had like a dozen or so. I didn't even know. I was just buying it every week when it was there for $3-4. But during that 2-month period, all the like op shops were selling these at $20, like loose dolls, right? Now that same op shop has dropped it to $10 because that, you know, things come and go, right? Popularity comes and goes, and just tells you like what was like, you know, selling for, you know, like for top dollar yesterday isn't going to be selling for top dollar today. So I saw these two today, and I mean, I bought this the other week, right? Because like I said, I'm collecting dolls because I want to be able to costume design, like put on like their dresses and make them look like a costume for Incredible and stuff, right? And so that was my idea. And so we've actually looked into, like I said, into designing that, and you can get like a random, not like a random, like a pre-made doll, and then you can find another doll, or you can get just a head designed to look exactly like your character, and then give her the red hair on top. So, you know, so I got these two today, right? So I got a dark skinned one and a light skinned one, right? but they were both Barbies. So like $5 each. But I think, I don't know, I think I picked this up the other week for about $2 or something. You know, it's like one of those zombie dolls. I know it's not Bratz, I don't think, but I'm sure it's one of those zombie dolls or whatever. So I'm always like buying like, you know, cheap dolls to have when I actually get down to it. I'll design a you know, like a costume, because I've got a sewing machine. Like my mom gave me a sewing machine last year because I do cosplay, right? Well, I've done one cosplay, which took me friggin' forever, but also it cost me a lot. So it's like one, and that's all I need to do now. But because I said to her that I wanted to do costume, designs for my, you know, dolls, so that when I, like, here's the thing. So say we do like a Kickstarter, and we can just say, here, this is not the real thing, but this is a character that looks like our thing, and we just go, you know, here you go, you know. But of course, we can't say this is Barbie, because it isn't Barbie, right? But the whole thing about, you know, being an indie creator is creating something that you enjoy, and then you get to share that enjoyment with others. And you can look at the different ways of sharing that enjoyment, either like, you know, turning into animation, turning into, you know, physical toys. You know, like my friend 3D designed this Incredible, right? And then another friend, you know, went and hand painted it, airbrushed it, and then hand painted everything on it, like the lines and stuff. You know, and so we got to have a 3D, you know, version, which was initially this color, you know, and then was done in a bigger size. So we got to, you know, have something that looks really cool because somebody believed in supporting what I was doing. And I appreciate that. And like, that's why I say, like, the indie, you know, if you're in the independent creators have a lot more to lose, but they also have a lot more to give, because, you know, we are the ones who are creating new, right? We're not rehashing anything. We're creating new from nothing, right? We're coming up with our own ideas and we're putting it out there. And you can see all that online right now. Like, there's so many projects up. As I showed earlier, you know, we've got, we're going to take Robot Nation, excuse me, Robot Nation to, you know, to Kickstarter instead of Funmo Comics, because we decided that what we're going to do is we're going to go share that. So we're going to go completely full print release, right? No, you know, I mean, we'll do it like a, you know, if you want it back to, there'll be a PDF digital version, but we're going to go full print right away. I'm not going to wait around, and because, you know, the creative team decided, hey, it's okay, we can just go create. We don't need to do digital first. Let's just go and do print version first. So we'll have A, B, C, D, C covers, and then we'll have a sketch cover. We'll put posters out. Right now, as I mentioned earlier, you know, working with Hugo, who colored the cover art, with the original, you know, the art by Francisco, who's an Italian artist, trained in Italy, and so on. And, you know, and then, you know, I'm very proud of this book, because we worked really hard on this book, and it's, you know, it's come a long way. 36 pages, man. You can't go wrong, you know, with this book, because it's a one, you know, if you never buy another Robot Nation issue, you've read the book, right? It's 2 short stories. It's complete. So now let's move on to, like I said, the bad, right? So some sad news, right? I saw this on the China news update. Let me find the right one. No, not that one. All right, so this is China Truth, right? So there's a channel here on YouTube called China Truth. So I think this was mentioned today. Yeah, or was it yesterday? I think it was today. I saw this, it saddened me. And imagine a
shocking
1,000-year building.
Millennium-old temple in Xi'an set ablaze. The renowned Buddhist historical site, Daisian Temple, located in Xi'an, Shaanxi Province, with a history spanning nearly 1,400 years, has reportedly set on fire.
Years old in New Zealand.
The entrance gate and threshold of the temple have sustained varying degrees of severe damage. The perpetrator has been apprehended by the police. Singtao Daily reported that the incident occurred on the 19th. According to a video circulated online, a man in black standing outside the burning temple gate, igniting the fire. He displays heightened emotions in front of the flames, shouting angrily and engaging in heated arguments with onlookers. Callously, he remarks, "Can it burn?" Bystanders express strong indignation at his actions, expressing sorrow and regret for the damage inflicted on the ancient temple. Some individuals promptly recorded videos of the incident. Currently, the specific motives behind the arson and the extent of the damage to Daesayan Temple remain unclear. Daesayan Temple, located in the Yenta district of Xi'an, is a renowned Buddhist historical site highly regarded both in mainland China and internationally. It played a significant role during the Tang Dynasty, serving as one of the 4 major translation centers in Chang'an and considered the ancestral temple of the Faxiang school of Chinese Buddhism. With a history of nearly 1,400 years, the temple holds immense cultural and religious significance. Within the precincts of Daesayan Temple stands the iconic giant wild goose pagoda, situated in the western courtyard. It was also a place where Master Xuanzang, a famous Tang Dynasty Buddhist monk, dedicated over 10 years to translating Buddhist scriptures brought from India. Reports: Shenzhen suspends unemployment benefits, authorities attempt.
That's just sad. When I saw this, I was like, it's just reminding me of like what's happening, all across the world with statues and art. That museum in France, when Kamala Harris was there, it burned, like somebody set on fire. It's like watching historic buildings and monuments get destroyed. It's so disheartening because it's like you're erasing history. And it's like, especially you think of all those amazing artisans who've dedicated, I don't care if it's religious or not, like it doesn't matter to me if the building's religious or not. What matters to me is all those people that spent their time and effort and energy into creating something beautiful to last 14 friggin' 100 years, and some a-hole comes across and goes, I just want to see it burn, and it's like so sad. It's like watching when the Taliban were like blowing up that ancient that cave with all one of the oldest Buddhist sculptures and stuff. Like that was part of that. And this one, it's like all this destruction of art. It shows you that like people just are like to a point where they don't understand how much artists put into it. And not only that, but then to do something like this, there's so much funding that goes from the people around them. Like, imagine all the Buddhists raising so much money 1,400 years ago from people around them, right? From believers, from non-believers even, right? A lot of times when you look at buildings like this, a lot of non-believers pay for it, like support it because they just want to see something great, right? So, it's the same thing with us. Like if we want to put a museum together, if I don't even believe in the museum, right, I will still tell people about going to see the museum, right? Or if they have somebody who has art coming out, I'll still go tell them that there's a great artist coming to do that because I believe in the time. And unless it's someone who's like basically put a friggin' a banana on a friggin' on a wall and calling it art on a canvas, right? That's not art. It'll never be art. That's just stupidity. Art is about time, effort, energy, and the human connectivity to it and emotion that create that where you got creating something. That's why I like when I look at stuff like this getting destroyed or damaged, it's disheartening because people have spent their not only their finances, but they've spent their time and effort over decades to build something this amazing out there. 1,400 years ago, man. Some countries didn't even freaking exist. At that time. I know Australia didn't. I know New Zealand didn't. I know Fiji. I guess Fijians were there, but it wasn't like connected to the rest of the world like we are now. But it's just so it's sad. So let me see what we got. I want to, you know, let's go into something good, right? Let's get back to something good. So for those of you, and I'm one of them, who grew up watching and enjoying Karate Kid, right? Excuse me. Where are you? Here we go. Sony, right? Sony announces Karate Kid crossover sequel, right? So now, when I saw that, I was like, what do you mean? You know, Jackie Chan, what's he doing with, you know, what's he got to do with Ralph Macchio and Karate Kid? Of course, I'm one of those guys who didn't watch, you know, the Smith Karate Kid. Not that, because I just, you know, Ralph Macchio is my Karate Kid, right? And of course, as you know, I can't remember, you know, there's a Netflix show or whatever that's really good. I actually saw like 2-3 episodes. That was me, because, you know, commitment, right? I got to commit. I only can commit to so many things. But like, it's a really good show, right? So what they've done is they've brought the Will Smith's son, right? Jada. Is it Jada? I thought that was his mother. Anyway, Jaden, right? Jaden. Is it Miyagi, you know, Miyagi from that. Let me get this right? Was like Mr. Miyagi from that to Ralph Macchio's, right? Karate Kid, right? So Daniel and Mr. Miyagi, right? Sequel coming, and it's gonna be, you know, Jackie Chan. Who does not love Jackie Chan, right? I'm a huge fan of Jackie Chan. I've probably seen like at least about 90% of everything he's ever made, because it's just fun to watch. Jackie, he's like such an icon, you know, in Hong Kong cinema. And not only that, but in Western cinema, right? I mean, he's a crossover with like, what was that? Like, it's at the tip of my head, like with the comedy, you know, thing. Like, anyway, you probably know. But, you know, all those like crossover movies and stuff. And now he went back and started doing more Asian cinema, China, mainland China, Hong Kong cinema. Yet we get to enjoy this, you know, the two together again. I guess like a decade later, you know, 20 years later, as a young, older kid. I'm not sure how it's going to sit in with, you know, I want you guys to read the article. So, you know, how it's going to sit in with the new show. But it goes, let's go first learn, stand, and then fly, then learn, start, and a crossover sequel that nobody saw coming, right? So I mean, like, you know, it's like something pretty random to have Sony decide, like, you know what, we're going to put that Miyagi from the Smith thing, and then we're going to put this with Daniel, right? And so, yeah, the news of the Karate Kid's return to the silver screen was just announced this, you know, 21st, like 2 days ago, this month, right, on the Sony. So let's have a watch of this.
Hi, everyone. We've got big news. We're starring in a new Karate Kid movie together. That's big news. But we even have bigger news. Bigger than that? We're looking for next Karate Kid. That's right. The global search for the star of our new film starts right now. So let's wax on, wax off, everybody. You mean check it on, check it off, hang it up? Maybe the new Karate Kid will have to do it all. I'm excited. You excited? I'm very, very excited. Let's do it. Learn more about this new role. Submit your audition video.
It's pretty weird, isn't it? A way to do things. It's kind of like a comic book creators saying, or no, publishers going, send us your you know, your spec script, and if we like it, we'll pay you. But if we don't like it, too bad. But I guess this is you know, this is a different, you know, this is probably the movie version of that thing, that competition. So yeah. Now more good news, right? So let's have a look at this one, and I think this really for me personally, I like what's happening over at DC when they do this, right? Because a lot of stuff coming out of DC is kind of like just as bad as stuff coming out of Marvel. So here we go. We get our redhead back. As you know, I like redheads, right? Not males, but I mean females, right? Obviously, you know, it's something unique, right? It's a bit like purple and pink hair that used to be in manga and anime. Now it's like it's in everywhere, right? You're a certain type of people if you have red, like if you have purple and pink or blue hair now in Western media, you're a certain type of person. However, in anime, it was just like a really cool thing to do, which and Superman was pretty cool as well, because you got the one person who's the redhead, dude. So they've like CW made him into a black dude. Of course, black dude didn't have red hair, and then they kept doing the whole try to erase the redheads, as you know. But seeing James Gunn surprisingly ditches Jimmy Olsen race swapping trend and cast Skylar Gisondo as redheaded reporter in Jimmy Olsen in Superman Legacy. So Superman Legacy seems to be like everything thrown into it. It's like this. It's like a reinvention of what the entire DC universe, right? I think this is what he's trying to do with everything that he's throwing into it. Like he's got like the Authority's machine coming into it as well. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but there was this whole thing where they were looking at bringing in the Authority's. What is her name? Give me the name here. Right. Yeah, the engineer, right? So he's gonna bring in the engineer, which is a total different universe, with the Authority, and they've casted an Australian actress, Maria Gabriela de Faria as the Authority's engineer in Superman Legacy. This is what I mean by the whole they're throwing everything into this box, right? Of Superman Legacy. You got Jimmy Olsen's redhead now, and on top, and now you've got the engineer in it as well. Now I don't know who else is going to be in it, but I do know they've brought in Nicholas Hoult from X-Men franchise, right? Now, if I remember right, isn't Nicholas Hoult like isn't he like now I've forgotten his name again. Gosh, I have trouble with McCoy, Hank McCoy, right? There you go. So Hank McCoy from the X-Men universe is crossing over to be Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy, right? So now not only have you got Jimmy Olsen, you've got Lex Luthor, you got Superman, and you've also got now Nicholas Hoult as, Authority as as engineer, right? Character. And I think I've read every single Wildstorm Authority crossover, Midnighter and stuff like that. All those little the variants and stuff. And I've actually got the first 2 issues somewhere in part of my collection, or probably a bit more. But the Authority is a really cool universe on their own. So he should have just done the Authority as a standalone movie and sort of done that, like the anti-hero thing, right? So that would have been really cool. But bringing the engineer into Superman Legacy, it's kind of like nobody knows. If you know DC, if you're a fan of DC movies and know nothing about Wildstorm comics, or have actually gone out of your way to actually read those characters, you have no clue. So the average non-comic book fan or reader has no clue who the Authority are, or who the engineer is, right? But I think he's making some good moves. But that the authority engineer thing, that's a downer for me. But hey, whoever's writing it is going to be pretty, it's got a work cut out for them. The other thing is talking about DC. You've also got a Supergirl movie coming out, and let me just grab that here. There we go. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. When I read that, I had to laugh. Like she's literally called, right? I'm mounting that. I'm not really good at pronunciation. Sorry, but it's called. The character is called Supergirl, but they're going to call the movie Woman of Tomorrow. Kind of take off on the Man of Tomorrow, right? Superman, the Man of Tomorrow. They're taking that whole, this is the what I said, like a lack of creativity, right? With these guys and working for Marvel and DC is like, or even Warner's and Disney is like, or Marvel Studios, is that rather than giving her own moniker, they would take Superman's moniker, the Man of Tomorrow, and putting it on her, right? And so, I do, however, I like this Elseworld version of Supergirl, and I did enjoy that, and I thought it was really cool. I'm waiting to get my figure. I'm just waiting for the price to go down. I'm not going to pay $50 for it, right? But I had to laugh because if they're going to do the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, are they going to do her story with the black hair, short bob cut, whatever? Or are we going to give us, the Supergirl with the, long blue top, right, and the skirt and long boots, right, and cape? Or we're going to get this one here, right? And so that's it's kind of like it's it's going to get the all blue, like as you can see here, she's got the all blue jumpsuit with a kind of like a red top there, and then the cape on top, which I kind of liked as a design. I thought it was a pretty cool design. I really liked that design for the character. And I like the character as well because it was an Elseworld different take on it. But are they going to give us that one? Because remember, they said they were going to redo the whole Legacy is going to be the kickstart of the new rebirth type thing with James Gunn at the helm, and not the Kara Sasha Cole is going to be included there because they've already said that they're going to get rid of all those people from that era, right, and give us a new thing. So she's basically it's going to have to be the blonde, right? Because give us what is what's original. But is James Gunn going to? The question here is James Gunn going to play a Marvel Studios game of like bait and switch, or is he going to be doing what he, if he's going to continue what he's doing, which is give us the original characters and the original thing? I hope he does, because that way, as a fan, of superhero movies and stuff, having enjoyed, so many of the DC stuff in the past, right? I like especially Batman, right, and the original superhero Superman movies and all that. I'm keen to I'm already over Marvel, so I'm keen to make sure that there's success with what James is doing over there and not bait and switching for all the characters. Because at the end of the day, we all want positive, we all want to have good stories told to us. Why would we want to spend money on junk, right? So, at the end of the day, help, do yourself a favor, right? If you're out there making movies and telling stories, tell the original character stories. Don't remake them, reinvent them for the modern era, because you'll get apathy. There'll be a turning point when we will not care. So you won't, and it's already happening, right? When you lose $300 million on a movie that cost $200 million or $300 million, so you lost everything, right? No matter how much money you make, you don't want to make anything, because then you got to realize people just don't care anymore. No matter how much you pander to a little group of people on Twitter, they're not the ones that actually go to the movies. It's the normies. And if the normies, and 75% are the males who go to see superhero movies, by the way, stop lying to yourself. There's, the female, there's 50-50. It's not 75% males will be the audience at superheroes because that's who have been risen up on reading all these characters. So if you want that 75% back, you better start thinking really hard. Are you going to give the audience and ticket paying customer what they want, or you just going to say, we know what's better for you? So, so take it or leave it. And the downside is that, and the negative side of that is like, we're just going to leave it. We're not going to take it anymore, right? We're not going to take it. Oh no, we're not going to take it. It's kind of reminds me of Twisted Sister song. Now, I think that's me for today but I do want to leave you with something, guys. I need your support because we're going to hit up, we are going to hit up Kickstarter, for Robot Nation, right? So I need your guys' help to help get this out there. Excuse me. Where's the story? There we go. Help us get this, because I'm trying to kick it off on get this set up really quick because I really wanted to get it out by Christmas, so that we can get it out to people, as soon as we can. Like I said, I'm in discussions with our colorist on, if we proceed with coloring or whether we weigh it up and go, we just put a black and white book out. But this is, one of the pages from Robot Nation, and I don't know what it's going to look like in color because I've never seen this in color. So we're going to trial a couple pages and see how it works in color and decide, do we put it out in color or do we put it on black and white in full print, because we're going to go print, right? So now you'll be able to find us under Plunger and Z on Kickstarter. So I'm going to put that up here so you guys can search, have that there in the back of your head. So, when we get ready to kick this off, we're going to start talking about what we're doing every week from now on with my team, with our team, right? Working on this, and we'll each week we'll talk to you about where we are at with it, with the coloring and all the other books that we're going to bring out, right? There's 3 or 4 books that we're just piling up to come out in the next year, right? Get ready and stuff. And we really appreciate you guys helping us get the word out about this. Follow, subscribe, like, notify, hit that notify button, but do share, because like I said, our team is working really hard, right? And inflation's hitting everybody tough. And, I wanted to reward my guys by doing the PDF first, digital release first, but they said, no, it's okay. Well, let's go to print first, and we can wait because let's put our best foot forward, right? So I'm going to do that. And please support us by, sharing up, the projects out that we do. It's also in the chat, the link for that. Once it's ready to, go to, what is that called? For approval. And once it comes back, I'll let you guys know and we'll start, putting it out. I'm going to give it like a 60-day sort of like promotion on this because I really want to build up, because it'll also allow, Hugo to get the coloring sorted and stuff. Also, we've got Incredible 2 coming out soon, right? Issue 2 is at the printers, right? Getting finalized, getting proofs and stuff. And we're pretty much ahead of time on that, which is really good. So it might even arrive early to our backers. And once that's out, then we can start selling the PDFs on that. But also, we can also release it as, with issue 2 again when we get issue 2 out. So we're halfway through finishing issue 2 of Incredible. That is like pencils and inks. And also, Hugo's going to start coloring that as well. So we can start, get a timely fashion of getting our amazing, comics out on time, so we can get these books out to you guys regularly, right? So if you got a 4-month wait between issue 1 and issue 2, you've got something else to read, right? So, you know, you can read Robot Nation while you wait for issue 2 of Incredible. And while you're waiting for once you got issue 2 of Incredible in your hand, you can jump on board Alien Nerd Alliance and read that, and then so on, and then get back to, you know, Incredible 2, or 3, you know, because like I said, Incredible is our all ages book, so we're able to have as ourselves, because that's getting released under Rising Sun Comics, right? Our one, we're under Plunge Comics. We're able to release. We're going to release all the mature stuff that we do, so that if you're 15 and over, you can read those comics, right? You know, so it's you know, we got manga, we got supernatural, we got sci-fi, horror, we got superhero sci-fi comics coming out. You know, heaven and hell, just amazing stories coming out of the next 12 months. And so we'd love we love you to back us for those projects, because we're working hard, because we believe in what we do, right? If you know, what's the point of not believing what you do, because it's just wasted energy. But I 100% believe in the product we're putting out, and the stories we're telling, and the art that we're putting out. And I just can't wait for people to see that and have that in their hand, right? And I want to see that and have that in my hand as well, because then it becomes, you know, so much more, 1,000% more real when it's like there, you know. And I can show it to my family. Go, look, you know, my friends, look, this is how much we spent why we spent 2 years redoing this comic book, you know, Incredible #1. But thank you guys for watching. Didn't expect it to be that long. I was trying to cut these down to an hour, but there's so much things covered. But I thank you. Tomorrow night, right? So tomorrow night is an amazing panel discussion we got on for the Kiwis and comic books here in New Zealand. We've got a bunch of hopefully 2 or 3 different local independent community-run conventions, right? So if you want to know, you know, pros and cons of running an event in your area, in your city, or in your township, wherever you are in the world, it's, you know, you get to see and hear from us talk about how to run that, because I ran my own for 5 years, you know, these past 5 years. So, and then there's other people who are doing it as well, so they're going to come and talk about it as well. So please join us for that tomorrow night. Today's Thursday. Yeah. So it's tomorrow night, 7:30 New Zealand time, and then back again on Saturday, and we'll open up all 4 of these Marvel Select, you know, friggin' amazing, you know, figurines from yesteryear, right? And I just can't wait to open these 4 up and see what's in them. Of course, you know, we've got the modern Hawkeye to open up as well. So, you know, pretty cool. Looking forward to that. But I opened up this today while I was during the meeting, right? So this is, what is this, Quicksilver? Is it the old Quicksilver or something? What is it called? Star-Lord, my bad. So I opened up the Star-Lord, right? Didn't even come with any baff or anything. Same price, right? $50, but no baff. How's that? But I guess, you know, you got a blue gun for the original looking Star-Lord with his helmet, weird looking helmet. Kind of reminds me of, actually Nova's got a full helmet, so it's got the Roman helmet. But this kind of looks like, you know, Centaurian, I don't know, one of those types of helmets. So you got a sword, comes with a set of, spare set of, you know, hands, fists, which are here. No stand, but it's got the hole, you know. And it came in this weird little, like, they came in these paper bags, right? So the figure comes in this paper bag, and the sword and the little pieces, fists and all that, comes loosely, right? In this little tiny bag. Because they went all like, you know, with Hasbro went all in like, you know, we're not going to do any plastic. But then, you know, people could open, you know, the toy up and take this and close it again, and you wouldn't know what was inside it because you can't see. So I think that made them, hopefully they returned back to this. But at the moment, from what I saw today, X-Men 97 is just like this as well, like no plastic kind of thing. But imagine being a toy collector and you go to look for Wolverine and somebody's put a character you don't want in it, but they've closed it up. And so you take it home and you open it up. Oh, it's not Wolverine. And so that's kind of things that has happened. And it's easy because these are friggin' easy to, like sellotape, right? You can just do a little, like real gentle little, you know, I'm not going to show you because in case kids are watching, right? But yeah, it's so easy to, you know, to change what's inside there. But I'd rather have this. I know it's plastic and all that, but I'd rather see what I'm buying than not to see what I'm buying. And it's just like the people could bait and switch, right? You could have like a devious salesperson who's out the back, you know, switching them around and just, you know, all the ones that don't sell, and he takes out all the ones that are Wolverine and puts them, you know, the ones that don't sell in it, and instead of Wolverine. But that can cause a lot of problems. But from, you know, my experience taught me that people can be devious. You don't expect them to be, but they can be. And in the end, you know, there's always somebody trying to get something out of nothing or benefit for themselves. But thank you guys for, you know, for hanging out with me. But do catch us next Wednesday, New Zealand time. It'll be Tuesday in the Northern Territories, you know, Northern Hemisphere. We're going to spend half an hour, and we made sure it's a half an hour show. Right, midday, 1 o'clock New Zealand time, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock Northern Hemisphere. We're just going to let you know each week we're going to come and talk to you about what we're working on right that moment, that week, coloring, artwork and stuff, and you get to see the work in process. Something I should have done 5 years ago when we started as far as, you know, working on comics, but I had to dedicate all that time running the convention and building that up. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out. So please like, share, subscribe, hit that notify button for the podcast coming up and live streams, and share. I really appreciate it if you guys can, you know, subscribe, because we try to build this up because so they can put that money back, you know, back into, you know, with advertising dollars that YouTube does back into the comics, back into the artists. And yeah, I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me and chat, helping me, especially yesterday, Gusto and you know, Ross. Thank you for helping me out yesterday, man. That really saved my bacon. Talking for half an hour without realizing there was no sound going out to you guys. Ka kite anō, be well, take care of yourselves, you know, hug your loved ones if they're close by, and, you know, be well, be safe, and we'll see you next time.